Hello everyone, welcome to Driving Production. In this episode, we're going to be talking brake upgrade. So recently I had one of my caliper seize up on me, or I should say maybe the piston started to stick, and unfortunately it's something I had to do right away, and I couldn't take videos of the actual install and how everything was done. I had to get it done by a shop because it was during one of my work days, but I definitely wanted to do a review and show you guys how it actually looks. So what I ended up doing, I ended up upgrading to some Mazdaspeed brake caliper and rotors while I was at it, and I wanted to do a quick comparison on how the brake felt and what are the differences between the OEM 2-liter Mazda3 brakes and the OEM Mazdaspeed brakes too. So one of the neat things that I actually love about the Mazda3 platform is that some of the performance upgrade, I guess you could say, are direct bolt-on from the Mazdaspeed. And if you've been following the channel for a little while, you saw that I put a lot of Mazdaspeed parts on my Mazda3, just for the fact that they end up being performance parts or upgrades for the Mazda3 instead of buying aftermarket. And you still have OEM reliability, I guess you could say, in a sense. And often the parts are cheaper, or you can even find some used ones on any used marketplace or something. So for the brake upgrade, it's something that's very neat because it's a direct bolt-on. It's as if you were just replacing the OEM caliper on your Mazda3. It's just that the size is bigger and the rotor size is bigger, really. It bolts up right to the bracket. You don't even need to cut the heat shield in the back. The rotor fits perfectly. Everything just bolts up to it. So that's one of the bonus parts of going that route. It's as if you get an OEM Big Brake Kit and it bolts right up. So now if we look into why you'd want to upgrade this, well, obviously bigger brakes or bigger diameter gives you better stopping power and better clamping force. From what I understand and from what I've read, some people tend to say that the piston is a little bit bigger on the Mazdaspeed than the regular caliper. It's not something that I was able to verify, unfortunately, but the clamping force is definitely stronger on the Mazdaspeed caliper. So if we just look at the size, the OEM 2-liter rotors, the diameter on them is 278 millimeters. And 25 millimeters thick, and the Mazdaspeed rotor diameter is 320 millimeters. So right there, that's a 42 millimeter difference. And as you can see, I tried to cut out a cardboard of the size of the OEM rotor just to give you a quick comparison on the difference. As far as thickness, it's the same thickness, but with more diameter, you do get more braking force. If we now look at the size of the actual caliper itself and the bracket and everything, I wish I could compare them and I had the OEM caliper. The OEM caliper with the bracket included is probably the size of the Mazdaspeed caliper without the bracket, and with the bracket it makes for a very nice brake caliper. So I'm looking forward to painting them so that they pop out a little bit more and add a little bit of detail to the wheel. So as far as size, that's pretty much all that goes into it. One thing I did some research about before getting them is making sure the wheel clearance was okay for my 16-inch winter tires, and 16 inch is probably the smallest size you can run with if you do this brake upgrade, or if you just have a Mazdaspeed 3. As you can see, the clearance is really tight. You can't go down to 15s, but 16s, it does clear. The offset on my winter tires, I think they're 52 if I'm not mistaken, and they're 6-inch wide by 16. So if we go into the driving aspect of the calipers, on if it actually improved the brake pedal feel or the braking force, I would say it definitely increase the brake pedal response. If you've seen my Mazda 3 review, you might have noticed that I did speak that I felt that the brakes weren't exactly where I wanted them, even though I installed some stainless steel braided brake lines in the past. But with the Mazdaspeed caliper, the pedal is very firm. It does help that I got the system flushed at the same time and bled, but the pedal is very firm. The initial bite of the caliper is very nice. You step on the brake, and if you really push on them, the brakes work really well. And that's even with, I mean, some lower quality rotors and pads. It's not even like Hawk pads or some more high performance pads. So definitely looking forward to maybe one day improving the brake force even more so. Another benefit you might notice, you really have to pay attention, I find, to be able to notice this, is the steering wheel does feel a little bit heavier. It does add some weight, so it probably transfers over to the steering feel to the tie rod and in that section. So you do get a little bit heavier steering wheel with this upgrade too. So another aspect that I really like about these calipers, I guess that's very much a preference, but it does add to the style of the vehicle. Like I mentioned, I'm looking forward to having them painted and shined up really, so that they do contrast with the wheel. So having a bigger caliper, obviously there's going to be a little bit more color in there. I think it's a very nice styling aspect to add to the car, as much as a performance upgrade that is actually working. One thing that I really like about this upgrade is that one, it does add some performance and it gives you a little bit more look, but all that really you get it for a fair price. Because if you look at big brake kits from like either Brembo's, Top Deck, or any real big brake kit with bigger calipers, 4-pot piston, yeah, okay, in the end they're gonna have more stopping power and they're not going to fade as much. But on a budget upgrade, the cost of doing this upgrade, I think, is very reasonable, especially for the extra performance you get out of your brake and all the benefits you get from it. If you look at this upgrade, you're going to be spending around the same amount as just replacing your OEM calipers and your OEM rotors. I don't think it's that much of a expense, especially if, like me, you were in a situation where your caliper went and you want to upgrade. I don't think it's a big step up. You can probably find them around the same price, even if you get some used one or some remanufactured one like these ones. All in all, I gotta say I'm really happy with the results of doing this mod. It's definitely something I would recommend if you're thinking about it and you want a brake upgrade on your Mazda 3. And that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover on the Mazdaspeed calipers. I hope you've enjoyed the video today. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.